So red 40, yellow number 5, blue 1, aspartame. For decades, these chemicals have been in nearly everything. Everything in our foods that we consume, that your family eats, in your kids' cereal, believe it or not. Your sports drinks, your healthy yogurt doesn't seem to be that healthy at all. Even your salad dressing, there's so much happening. Europe has banned many of these dyes, everything we just mentioned, most of them years ago. But in America, we've been slightly behind to do so. We've been told basically that they're perfectly, quote unquote, safe. Don't worry about it. None of that is gonna bother you. Don't worry. Everything is fine. The FDA approved them. Well, the largest retailer in America just called BS on that entire claim, and it's about dang time. That entire narrative and what happens next could really change everything about how families eat. Welcome back, Perseverance Pioneers, to the Perseverance Mindset Podcast, broadcasting, as you know, live from our famous Dialogue Den. So today, we're going to break down a recent decision, deep diving into a massive, massive development that affects every single American, if you haven't already heard, and every single American who shops at Walmart. And that's about 90% of us, basically, myself included. This isn't just another corporate PR stunt, Pioneers. This is about changing the game. It's revolutionary. It's about taking back control of what goes into our bodies and our children's bodies, most importantly. And finally, demanding transparency from the food industry, something we've been trying to do for decades. And today, we're going to break down Walmart's recent announcement to get rid of all these synthetic dyes and basically 30 harmful additives from their household products and brands by 2027. Not soon enough. But here's the real question. Why now? And what does this tell us about the power we have as consumers, the power that we have as the folks that purchase the items from these large retailers to demand better? Stick around, because this connects directly to the Make America Healthy Again movement. RFK Jr.'s influence and your ability to persevere through a time and industry that's been poisoning us for decades. And now we're finally standing up and doing something about it. So let's get into it. So the announcement came as basically a shocker. It's been happening to a lot of companies, but what's actually happening? Let's break this down. So what's actually happening here? The facts are Walmart just announced that they're eliminating some of the most basically worst things out there, synthetic dyes and 30 different additives, all from basically their house products, their house brands that everybody at Walmart purchases, whether we're talking about Great Value, which is Walmart's brand. We also have Market Side, which is the fresh prepared foods that Walmart has. Freshness Guaranteed is another brand. Basically, that's their bakery items. And Better Goods basically is their premium line, the target list of like some of the better products they have. Pioneers, they are removing 11 artificial food dyes, including, let's bring up the list here, red dye 40, linked to hyperactivity in children, gone. Yellow number 5 and yellow number 6. A lot of sodas in there too, associated with allergic reactions, basically gone. Blue 1 and 2, these are potentially carcinogens in high doses, but it doesn't stop there. There's lots of things going on here. They're also eliminating artificial sweeteners, which are basically even worse than some of the dyes, like aspartame, fat substitutes that our bodies can't properly process because it's a chemical. A lot of chemical preservatives, they basically are just designed to extend the shelf life. They have no value in consuming the food, and the shelf life makes it last longer, but it affects at the expense of your health. This affects products across 4,500 stores nationwide, bakery items, cereals, snacks, sports drinks, some of those healthy sports drinks. You should really check them twice. A lot of salad dressings too, you name it. Here's what's interesting about this. Walmart says 90% of their private food brand and products are already dye free. Then why do they have to be doing this to begin with? So this is about finishing the job and setting a new standard for the way Americans eat and consume and purchase foods from these large retailers. The timeline, full implementation by 2027. Basically 2 years to reformulate thousands of products while maintaining the quality, the taste, the texture, and keeping things flowing. Basically, key here is affordability, and that's the deal maker. So why is this happening now? What are the forces really driving this change? And I think this has a lot to do with the recent election and the swing. So let's talk about why this is happening. Because nothing happens this big in a vacuum. Nothing. First, consumers are demanding better. You, me, all of our perseverance pioneers out there, we're demanding better because for years we've basically been being poisoned by all these synthetic dyes we're talking about, additives that go into products for extending shelf life. So what does that do to our bodies? Can't be good. Parents are reading the labels now. People are connecting the dots. Took a while, but they're connecting the dots between what they eat, how they feel, and the clean eating movement that's basically sweeping across the country. This isn't a fad anymore. It's a fundamental shift in American consciousness, how people eat, how people want to live their life. When you walk down to the grocery store, go into an aisle or drive there, you see two identical products, one with red dye 40 and one without. Which one are you choosing? That's the question. We won't put anybody on the spot, but which one are you choosing exactly? Walmart sees purchasing patterns and they're adjusting to it. Let's talk about the second reason, regulatory pressure. Europe has already demanded better. Europe is doing a lot of crazy things these days, but they're doing this right. Europe has banned most of these dyes years ago. The UK requires warning labels on products containing synthetic dyes. Why? We need to start asking that question. The stating they may have adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Well, something we've all been talking about. Meanwhile, American kids have been consuming this stuff like candy literally every day in the summer, myself included, for basically our whole childhoods. The pressure is building. State legislatures are basically introducing bills. California is leading the charge. Another interesting state like California, but they're doing this right. Walmart is reading the writing on the wall. Third, the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. factor. So let's address basically the largest component of why we feel this is happening. RFK's vision to make America healthy again campaign. It all has to do with all of the status and all of the notoriety. Love him or hate him, his platform has put food additives and chronic disease in the national spotlight. And that's a good thing. It is a good thing. I don't care what anybody says about it. It is a good thing. He's been hammering on this issue. Why do American versions of the same product contain chemicals that are banned in other countries? We have to start asking these questions, and we are, to the corporation's detriment, because people make a lot of money on pushing this stuff out there. Why are our children sicker, more hyperactive, and dealing with more allergies than ever before in American history? This isn't about politics, pioneers. We specialize in talking about all current events and bring on industry leaders to break down these topics. This is about health. And when someone with that level of platform starts asking these significant questions, these are the type of results you see. Corporations listen because these issues are in the national spotlight. Consumers start asking questions too. And this is a lesson in leadership. This is what true leadership looks like. America making this move, understanding what is happening, what consumers are asking for, reading the writing on the wall. Walmart didn't wait for the government to mandate it. They're not being forced by lawsuits, which honestly what it takes for a lot of companies to do anything these days. They're leading because they recognize that consumer trust is worth more than the cost of changing and reformulating the operation, the whole business, getting ahead of the curve, not waiting until behind to where it is mandated. That does take courage. It does take some vision. That's the kind of perseverance mindset that we talk about on this podcast all the time. It's forward thinking mindset. What is the mindset? People are wanting better food. What is the mission? How do we get those dyes removed? And what's the momentum? Keeping the food, those additives out of the food. So the impact because of all this, what this means for you, basically. What does this mean for you and your family and everything else happening out there in this ever changing world? The takeaways: grocery bill, certain things are coming down, certain things are going up, but your grocery bill is basically saying the same for them updating their products, maintaining affordability. This isn't about creating a premium product, it's just enhancing the product that's already on the shelves and doing better for their customers. This is about making clean food accessible to everybody. Everybody, working families, middle class families, more mass affluent families, better health outcomes. Removing these synthetic dye leaves, basically, it's meaning to fewer behavioral issues in children. Who can't get behind that? Reduced allergic reactions, lower exposure to basically carcinogens. Who wants to be around this stuff? If you can't pronounce it, if you don't know what it is, probably shouldn't be in your food. Better gut health overall. And this is creating an industry domino effect. When the largest retailer in America, Walmart, makes this move, competitors have to follow suit. Target, Kroger, basically Albertsons, they're all watching. And this could trigger the biggest health revolution for how food is basically sold in the United States for decades to come. And that is a positive thing, Perseverance Pioneers. So we had to bring this episode to you because these are the things that are changing in our everyday world. So if you liked our content today, please like and subscribe, follow us. We're on a mission to get to 250 subscribers or followers before the end of this year. On this podcast, we deep dive into business, finance, tech, cyber. We bring on industry leaders to discuss such things, or we talk about current events that are shaping our everyday world. So thank you for watching. Check out more of our videos. Have a great day.